Hey, I'm Johnny Z. Welcome to Rather Be Riffing. It's Friday night. Time to try another new beer. I've got an Outlier at Treehouse Brewing Company. It's brewed with a blend of German malts and European noble hops. Cheers. So this video will be a continuation of my last video where I compared my PRS Doublecut 594 with the Singlecut version and asked you all for some input as to which one I should keep. Thanks a ton for all the comments. It's been super helpful. I haven't decided yet, but the input so far has ranged from keep both, which I would love to do, to a few preferring certain qualities of the Singlecut, but many folks so far have preferred the Doublecut. But I wanted to do another comparison based on some suggestions I received from some folks in the comments, which is keep the one that complements the rest of my collection the most. And so I got thinking, wouldn't it be cool to compare each of these 594s to a Gibson Les Paul with the objective of deciding which one is giving me more of a different flavor by comparison. And I thought that was a really cool pragmatic suggestion, so that's what we're gonna do. So in this video, I'll compare the PRS 594 Doublecut with the Gibson Les Paul. And in the next video in the series, we'll compare the 594 Singlecut with the Les Paul. So I'll start with the specs of each guitar, describe my signal chain, then I'll jump right into the sound comparisons. First, before we do all that, let's check out the opening solo with the PRS. This is my Gibson Les Paul. It's a 1959 60th anniversary reissue spec'd by Wildwood Guitars, which essentially means it has their lower turn custom buckers in it. This one was also painted by Tom Murphy. It's not a Murphy Lab, but it's been painted by the man himself. And this has the usual East Indian rosewood fingerboard and an African mahogany back and neck. In the PRS Doublecut, folks that haven't seen the first video, specs on this one are African mahogany back and neck, Brazilian rosewood fingerboard. It says PRS's 5815 low turn TCI pickups. This guitar was made in 2022 and has the newer generation hardware and non-locking tuners. So my signal chain today, I'm running a stereo rig with my 2-rock Bloomfield Drive and Blanket Chip Twinplex into 2 Shure reactive loads with Friedman 4x12 impulse responses. I'm going to start out with some clean tones. I'm going to use an Origins Effects Cali 76 for a touch of compression, along with a TC Electronics stereo chorus with a bit of hall reverb. And I will play through the neck, middle, and bridge positions. So I think both guitars worked really well there. A lot of clarity from both guitars. I may have slightly preferred the neck position on the PRS. PRS also had a killer middle position, although I really feel like the middle position in the Les Paul's quite special. It has a little more quack and spank and has that quintessential Telecaster vibe. But anyway, keep an ear out for that in some of the other sound clips coming up. So for the next comparison, I'm gonna go into low gain mode. I'm gonna turn off the other pedals from the previous clip and kick on a Vemoram January for some light overdrive. Play some blues licks in G. So, all right, in this next sound comparison, I'm going to kick the gain up a notch. I'm going to leave the January on and stack it with a Exotic Effects soul-driven Andy Hines signature model and play some more rhythm style parts in the key of E. And let's hear how these guitars compare in that context. So that was interesting. In this context, I felt like the guitars were quite different. I felt as though the middle position on the Les Paul really stood out. It was a little bit brighter and had a little bit more of that, again, quintessential Telly vibe, with a lot of brightness and character and attitude, which I was really digging for that part. So let's kick it up into high gain territory now. I'm going to leave the January on, turn off the Soul Driven, and add in a BK Butler tube driver and channel some of my Eric Johnson influence by playing some melodic lead passages. Let's check it out. So that one was another coin toss for me. I think they both sounded killer, sound a little different, but I really liked the vibe of both in that case. So up next, I want to take the intro music and do an A-B comparison between both guitars and see what differences we can hear in that context. So that wraps it up. So let me know what you're hearing in the comments below. What are the big differences you noticed? Do you have a favorite? And stay tuned for the next video because I'll compare the Les Paul to my PRS 594 Singlecut. And then from there, I'm going to make my decision as to whether or not to keep the Singlecut or the Doublecut based on the 3 videos that I'll have completed by that point in time. So in the meantime, if you enjoy the video, please consider subscribing, liking, or commenting. That'll really help get the content out to some others that may find it useful. Thanks for watching. See you in the next one.